Well, I think we're done. It's been about 2 hours. Are you? Was this excruciating for you?
I don't know. I feel like I made a huge mistake.
No.
I'm Elijah Wood.
And I'm Daniel Noah.
Panos Cosmatos is the son of filmmaker George Cosmatos, who directed Cobra and Rambo First Blood, to name a few. And Panos grew up on those sets. Now, Panos lives in Vancouver, and our conversation took place with him at my home in LA, so it's a slight break from our usual format.
His first feature, Beyond the Black Rainbow, was not widely seen, but recognized by those who did see it as the debut of an important and visionary filmmaker.
We were lucky enough to see a special screening of the film in Los Angeles, and we quickly tracked him down and begged him to let us produce whatever he did next. A year later, he delivered the script for Mandy.
Panos is a brilliant, sensitive man and a dear friend. As you'll hear, he was somewhat uncomfortable getting personal with us, as it wasn't quite what he was expecting. But over the course of the conversation, he gradually warmed up, and by the end, he came around to appreciating the importance of sharing certain parts of himself so others might relate to his experience. In some ways, privacy may be the secret to his talent, so it was a real gift on his part to disclose so much personal information, and we hope he doesn't regret it.
Oh, and by the way, this episode is best enjoyed with tacos.
And remember, if you like tacos, be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to never miss an episode.
This is Visitations
With Elijah Wood
and Daniel Noah. And now, Panos Cosmatos.
Hello. How are you?
Come on in.
Hey, buddy. How you doing, man?
Yeah. Cool glasses.
Ooh,
Thanks.
fancy glasses. Hey, bud.
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Come on in.
We've got tacos here.
Oh my God.
Here.
Victoria.
How long have you been in town?
Since Thursday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Pig.
I don't think anyone can eat these tacos and not drop something. This is, where are these from, Mike?
I've humiliated myself already. Hello.
There you go.
Thank you.
Do you want to sit with us?
I mean, nah, I'll just grab a couple of tacos. And...
Okay. What kind are these all chicken? What's what?
I think that's chicken.
That one's chicken. Okay.
This is beef, veggie, and that's pork, the
Got
cochinita pibil.
quesadillas and camarones.
I was hoping you were going to say tacos.
Oh, I'm glad.
I need you to open up my chakras. Can you open them?
The only chakra opening method that I know is a savage beating with a car antenna.
Let's get started.
Okay.
No time like the present.
No.
Should we move out? We were thinking we'd do this out there, so you can
Yeah.
hit your vape.
Awesome. This is going to be a disaster, just so you know.
Good. Well,
All of this planning and waiting, and then it just to culminate in a terrible, terrible disaster. You have an audio recording of me having an anxiety attack or something?
I think people would like to hear that.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Do you actually have panic attacks?
I've had panic attacks, yeah, many a time. But not for a long time, but not for years.
What triggers them?
I can't talk about it. But yeah, I think drinking was a big part of it because breaks down your mental defenses.
Sure.
And so I mean, I wouldn't have panic attacks when I was drinking. When I was drinking, I would feel like $1 million. But then the next day, I would be like extremely fragile psychologically, and that's what the first time I ever had a panic attack was after a night of heavy drinking. And ever since then, it always feels like it's a possibility, you know?
You know, it's weird. I think it's in my adult life that I know. Well, it's definitely in my adult life. I'd say within the last, maybe even 5 years, where I've noticed that hangovers, a major symptom of hangovers now is anxiety.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, not quite panic attack for me, but in that realm.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
The sort of headache, sick, that isn't really what I feel. I just feel anxious, and it won't go away.
Yeah. Like you become aware that
It's horrible.
your head is a rotting egg that could just crumble into itself.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's exactly
I just
it.
wanted to see the look on your face when I said that. And it was pity.
Do you believe in God?
Absolutely not.
Do you believe in aliens?
I used to believe in God when I was a kid, and I think my mother tried to imbue me with a sense of spirituality, and she told me about God when I was young, but in a very like undogmatic way, and it was more about like a very almost like pagan way, like oh the universe has energy and an entity created it, and it's better to be like peaceful and kind than to be violent. And then, you know, when we first moved to Canada, she tried to sort of, we went to like a church, like a regular kind of like Christian church. We went to a Greek Orthodox church one Sunday each, and I remember her asking me, what did you think of that each time? And me being like, I found it strange and didn't seem, and I think I said to her, it didn't seem spiritual to me. And she was like, I agree with you. And then like we never went to church again.
Wow. How old were you?
6, 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were, where were you born?
I was born in Rome.
Wow.
Yeah. My parents were there. I think my dad was working on films, obviously, and then, yeah, that's where I was born.
And you're an only child, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you immigrate to the United States?
We moved to Canada when I was in grade 6.
Why Canada?
What am I talking about? 6 years old.
Got it. Year 6. Yeah.
Then we went to London, and then I think they decided they need to move to LA for his career. But I think my mother did not want to raise me in LA, so we tried Guadalajara, Mexico.
Whoa.
Because it's a direct flight to LA. And then after you're...
All of you? All 3 of you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then I remember being in LA briefly, and then we went to Vancouver to check it out. And I remember waking up in Vancouver on the first morning that we were there. And this is a different city back then because there was no high-rises really.
Right.
So you could, from that, it's called the Vancouver Hotel still, I think. It's a Fairmont now or something.
Yeah,
But I remember waking up and looking out the window. You could see for miles because all the buildings were only like 4 stories.
Wow.
And there was like seagulls everywhere. And it was like very much like a old port town.
So how did your dad make that work? Was he flying back and forth to LA all the time?
Yeah. Yeah, then I remember we went house hunting in Vancouver, and they decided it was too urban. So we went to Vancouver Island to look around, and we're like looking at the houses there, and we all kind of just like loved it immediately.
In Victoria?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. I've never been to Victoria.
Yeah.
It's meant to be beautiful. So you guys moved to Victoria?
So then they ended up buying a house there, and we moved to Victoria, and that's where I was primarily grew up.
And what was growing up in Victoria like?
It was nice, you know. It was a very kind of sheltered, pleasant upbringing, very suburban.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, though, we moved into this house down the street that I am pretty sure, even though I don't believe in the supernatural, at the time it felt cursed to me and it felt haunted.
Yeah.
And I was there alone with my mother like a lot, and there was no street lights on that street. And we had this really long, like dark driveway, and all like 2 stories, and the bottom story was kind of like on the basement level with just shit tons of French windows, where it just felt so easy that somebody could just punch in a pane of glass and then literally like be inside the house for hours or days without anybody ever knowing, because we never went down there.
Yeah.
And between the windows and the curtains, there was a huge gap that was like this big for some reason, like the perfect amount of space for a person to stand behind. So after I got into horror movies, because I wasn't allowed to watch horror films, but then when I started being allowed to watch them, they made me deeply paranoid. And and I like had chronic nightmares. Like every fucking night, I'd have terrible, terrible nightmares, and every night I would have to like basically like search the entire house from top to bottom behind all the curtains and check all the doors, and to make sure there was nobody in the house. So.
But it wasn't until you started watching horror films that it occurred to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. How old were you then when you started watching horror
Probably
films?
like 11. Maybe a bit younger than that.
That's when your parents allowed you to watch horror movies?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't allowed to watch anything R-rated until I went to this kid's sleepover, and we watched First Blood. And it was like the most violent thing I'd ever seen in my life. Like, it was shockingly violent to me.
The first or the second one?
The first one.
Got it. Okay.
And I remember I got in huge trouble for watching it. Like, I got yelled at and everything. And then, like, a year later or 2 years later, my dad was directing the sequel to it. But after the initial shock of me having seen the R-rated film, they stopped really caring that much.
Right.
Like, I was tainted now.
You'd like broken the seal.
Yeah.
You were tainted.
Yeah. I'd gone bad.
He's lost.
I'd gone bad, so I no longer tried.
You blew it.
Yeah. Yeah, and later my therapist said that I basically had I had self-inflicted PTSD.
Whoa.
From like
First Blood?
from worrying about like somebody breaking into the house.
Wow.
Like I worried so hard I got PTSD.
Wow.
I mean, I don't want to like minimize real PTSD. You know?
Sure.
I had like a mild form of it.
Wow.
Was there a period when your dad was around a lot, and then, like, how did that work with his?
He would
career?
basically commute back and forth. Mm-hmm. We had an apartment in LA, and then eventually he had a condo over in Century City. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got it.
This feels really personal.
It is kind of personal. What percentage of the time was he in LA versus in?
It's hard to say, but easily 50-50.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And was that consistent throughout your whole childhood?
Pretty much, yeah.
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 Got it.
When he was shooting, you know, if we had breaks that coincided, we'd go and visit the wherever he was shooting. So you know, when he was shooting Leviathan, we went and stayed in like Rome and
cool.
Malta. And when he was shooting Rambo 2, we went down and hung out in Acapulco. It makes it sound so casual. I was hanging out. Just like a fat kid in a swimming pool, with, like suntan lotion, like coating me on this awkward coating of suntan lotion and chlorine, and just feeling super self-conscious. Yeah, hanging out.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Just chilling. Was it fun for you to visit set?
Gorging myself on sausages and stuff, and just like binge eating because I was so unhappy inside. Chilling. Sorry, what was your question?
Was it fun for you to visit your dad on set? Was it fun to?
Yeah, it was always
Just to see that process.
It was always cool. Like I remember just like the Leviathan sets that they built at Cinecittà in Rome, the legendary studio where like Fellini filmed everything.
Oh right, yeah.
And yeah, they built all the interiors of the submarine base or the fucking underwater base.
Yeah.
There, and they were just, the craftsmanship was just so immaculate.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and I just wanted to live inside of that set. It was so cool. Yeah. And then the water tank in Malta, where it's basically like a giant infinity pool, so you can fake that you're in the ocean, but you're actually looking at a giant infinity pool.
Wow.
That's so rad.
Wow. What was it like seeing your dad in command of a set?
Weird. Very weird. Yeah, it never seemed quite real to me, to be honest with you. But it also felt perfectly natural at the same time, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember going to the Cobra set the night that they shot. There's a part where the villain's like trying to get through a door with a knife, like Shining style. But they actually built they had a fake door, multiple fake doors, and then they had a hydraulic system with all these mechanical arms on it. Each one had a copy of the knife on it, with actual metal, so that they could recreate the exact stabs in the exact same positions in the door over and over and over again. All they had to do was swap out the door.
Whoa.
I just remember being blown away by that.
That shit's incredible.
Yeah. gotta have a fucking budget to do that kind of thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
So when did you first start dreaming of being a film director yourself?
I don't know. I always loved movies from the very beginning. But I drifted off into stuff like where I wanted to be an architect, and I would draw like floor plans of houses
Oh, cool.
on graph paper, and then eventually I really wanted to design rock stages for like
wow.
live metal bands. Like,
What?
because in the 80s, like their stages were always so out of control and like detailed and like
The stage shows were really elaborate.
designed
Yeah.
and themed, but I was really like, the ones I liked the best were ones that were just like flat. I think I was just obsessed with geometry in a way, even though I was terrible at math, because the stages that appealed to me the most were like intersecting geometric shapes with like panels of graded metal that there'd be lights behind or speakers behind. And I would just endlessly draw those. And eventually, at first I would draw them on graph paper from a bird's eye view, but eventually I figured out a way to draw them at perspective on like a clean non-graph piece of paper by using, what do they call it?
Oh,
Like
Perspective line, like drawing perspective lines and then building around that.
Yeah.
But then I remember vividly, I thought about films all the time. I read Fangoria, I read Starlog, I read Cine Fantastique was my favorite one. For some reason, I felt like the quality of the writing was the best in that one at the time, and had the most interesting kind of like interviews and most interesting kind of perspectives on the films. But not until I saw After Hours and Evil Dead 2 back to back did I realize what a director did. Did it become like very concrete to me of what a director could be, because both those films have incredibly stylized, almost mechanical camera movements where the camera itself becomes like a character.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it just took that for it to like click with me, where I was like, oh, now I fucking understand on like some kind of like deep level what a director can be.
Yeah.
How
old were
he
you at
uses
that
the
time?
camera. It was probably grade 6.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you talk to your dad about this stuff?
Yeah. All of our best conversations were about movies.
Really?
And all of our best communications as father and son were revolved around movies.
Wow.
That was sort of our meeting point.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So was he encouraging?
I wouldn't use that word.
Was he discouraging?
No, but I think he was a realist, and he was like, you realize this is a very, very difficult industry that revolves around rejection, and be prepared to live a life of rejection
Yeah.
and difficulty. So I was like, okay, thanks for the pep talk. No, but he was a realist, and he wanted me to know what I was getting into,
So what was the first kind of like formal step that you took toward being a film director?
I never did.
You never
formal
did?
Step. No.
Did you go to college?
Not
University?
really. I took one semester of film studies, and I think I failed. And then years later, I took one course of experimental film studies, mostly because I wanted to see the experimental films projected, because they had prints of them.
Oh, cool.
So I took it mostly to do that. But it was the same teacher for both of them. I don't think she liked me too much, but why would she? I was I wasn't really.
You're a punk.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't committed. But I remember one of the cool things about that was we got to see a print of Videodrome in the film studies class, and I realized, actually, like Videodrome better on TV. Like it's a movie that works better on TV. It felt very.
Because it's about television?
Yeah. And somehow Videodrome on TV, it feels way more visceral than it does when it's just like a clean 35 millimeter print. So the opposite of television.
Yeah.
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 But that was the most formal thing that I did as far as like film school.
So how old were you when you made Black Rainbow?
That's a really good question.
Roughly.
I have no idea.
Under 30?
No.
Well
over 30.
Well over 30.
Close to 40.
Wow. Okay.
Because the whole reason I made Black Rainbow was after I started going to therapy, I realized it allowed me to have a moment of clarity where I saw myself at 40 not having made a film, and it was so depressing to me that I almost immediately started like the process of making Black Rainbow for real, instead of just writing it or whatever. And yeah, I just moved to Vancouver and made it.
So between failing your cinema studies class and realizing that you needed to make Beyond the Black Rainbow, there was probably, about 10, 12 years there?
Well,
what was going on?
At some point around after the first film studies class, my mother at some point died. And that's when I kind of fell into like a real cycle of binge drinking and self-medicating with alcohol and not really realizing that's what I was doing until I was way down that rabbit hole. And then when my dad got sick and died, I realized I had to go into therapy because I realized I'd been sublimating all of the grief and wasn't dealing with it at all. And now that my dad had died too, it was going to compound on top of that and I was going to have a breakdown. So I went into therapy and was able to start purging all this built up grief. And that's in a way what allowed me to write Black Rainbow and Mandy, or at least the first versions of Mandy, was just dealing with it, with the grief for the first time and purging it. And suddenly I felt like this weight was being lifted off me and I could actually see certain things clearly that had been muddy or I didn't allow myself to look at, like the fact that I was trying to kill myself essentially, like I wanted to die. So I didn't care. I would just chain smoke and binge drink, and I had zero desire to care for myself.
What was before your parents passed away, when you were a young adult, what was their role in your life?
My mother was a really sweet, nurturing, artistic person who taught me all about art and how to make art on a physical level and how to and to be experimental with it. And so I took a lot of inspiration and kind of guidance from her. And then my dad taught me, like I said before, the sort of pragmatic element of the film industry. So I think I learned what I know about a lot of what I know about the real film industry from listening to him argue with people on the phone.
Wow.
For hours.
Wow. Do you remember any specific conversations?
No, I don't.
Do you remember? Could you characterize?
Some of it might be about an ad campaign or about an edit or about a script note, but you got a real sense of the dialogue that takes place in the actual film industry between people.
That sounds like our phone calls.
I think our phone calls were a lot more peaceful.
Our phone calls?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. The blimp is back.
The blimp is
circling.
demonic.
The blimp is circling Dodger Stadium, right?
I actually really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
The sound it makes is soothing.
You find that soothing?
Yeah, I do. Because it sounds like we're gonna get bombs.
It reminds me of his
And that soothes me.
I think he's revving his engines just for you. What's he doing?
Do you remember The Rocketeer?
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
and the climax of the movie is the Nazis are coming to Los Angeles.
Right.
Because Timothy Dalton plays someone that's a Nazi sympathizer as part of the Nazis.
Yeah.
And there's I believe there's a blimp.
And they land on the
There's a
Griffith
Zeppelin in the film.
Observatory.
Yeah, exactly.
Zeppelin,
Yeah, there's a Zeppelin.
Actually, we should move inside because
Should we?
I was warned that if this happened, that it's going to mess us up. So.
This whole podcast reminds me of one of my therapy sessions.
Is that okay?
Yeah. But it's just me spilling my guts about my childhood and
That's kind of what the show
my
is.
relatively insignificant personal shit.
It's highly significant to you,
And to us.
And by extension to us. When did you stop being afraid of horror and start leaning into it?
Well, I think I always that was probably around the time that I was allowed to start renting them. Mm-hmm. So I had been obsessed with them for years via looking at the box covers and reading about them in Fangoria and stuff like that. So I was ready to go there, I guess, on some level, even though it ended up causing me no end of paranoia in our house. But like, I remember talking to this guy today who was all like, yeah, after watching the Friday the 13th movies, it made going to camp so much more exciting. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. That you saw that your fear to you read as excitement, whereas to me it read as like an oppressive, like darkness encroaching,
And you had no problem getting through the films, or they were?
No, I had no problem getting through the films.
It was what it did to you after. It's like
once I was allowed to watch them, I was like voracious in
Yeah.
like watching them and like reading about them and
But that's a transition that I'm fascinated by, and I've, in these discussions that we're having with people, it does seem like there are certain common themes that come up amongst people that make horror films.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting. A lot of transients, moving a lot.
right.
A lot of the loss of a very essential emotional support relationship, either permanent through death or like circumstance, which leads to a sense of impermanence, and a lot of really fearful kids that somehow then had a moment when it stopped being afraid.
They like conquered that fear.
Yeah, and then was like, whoa, this is actually what I want to do with my life.
Right. I would say then that my fear, quote unquote, disappeared after my dad died and I went into therapy. Really? Not until then, yeah.
Not until then.
Yeah, up until that point, I was actually like adding new phobias and new neuroses all the time. And especially, after my mom died too, I started like getting really OCD and adding new fears instead of like conquering them.
Right.
Yeah, and then it wasn't until I went into therapy and started to like purge the grief and sort of just get some sort of clarity in my mind without all this stuff clouding it that I started to lose the fear. It was after Black Rainbow was done, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I still had like a lot of these phobias. And,
Through Black Rainbow?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But that was a big one. That was where I felt like I kind of shed the last of my like phobias. Was that that sort of like compacted, fresh grieving process.
Do you think maybe it was confronting the ultimate fear, which is being alone?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
Like, oh, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Fuck needles.
Yeah. Because I would have never been alone.
Yeah.
Like I was dating a girl when my mother died, and then I was dating somebody when my dad died, and so I'd never been alone with it.
Yeah.
So I think being alone with it and burning it off, kind of burned it off.
What is the writing process for you?
It's like it's layering. It's like a collage, So I'll start with the broad concept that appeals to me, or some image or theme or something like that. It's hard to sort of pinpoint, and then start building elements around that. It's like building a giant diorama or a giant
Structure.
Yeah, and just supporting it and building it. And
That is architectural.
yeah.
Do you keep notes? Do you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the writing takes place in note form, and then only at the very end there's notes is sort of is where most of it lives.
Yeah. The screenplay is like a translation of everything that's already, or like a representation of the work that's been completed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the final lacquer.
Right. Do you like Mandy?
I do. I'm really happy with it.
Do you love Mandy?
I do love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love Black Rainbow as well. I feel like they're both kind of miracles. I never thought I'd be able to make one movie, let alone two that are like exactly what I wanted them to be. So to me, it's a miraculous occurrence. And I feel like I can die without shame now.
Why?
Well, that's the whole reason I made one of the reasons I made Black Rainbow, was because I was like, I had that image of myself in my home not having made a movie by the time I was 40, and it was depressing to me, like really cripplingly depressing. And so I put all of my energy and all of my resources into making it, and when it was done, I was like, that's good. I fucking did it. I felt like I faced down the impossible in myself, because I felt like it was an impossible task. I was too afraid. I was so afraid of doing it. I was so afraid of moving. I was so afraid of making that leap. So when I'd faced all of that and actually made a full film, it felt like I'd completed something that needed to be done, and at least the minimum requirement.
Which was completing it.
Making a film.
Making
one
a film, yeah.
film.
Did it really premiere at the Whistler Film Festival?
Yeah.
Is there a film festival in Whistler? There is?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. That's fucking awesome.
But honestly, every film festival on Earth essentially had rejected it. Every like major film festival. Wow. So I thought, nobody. I'm happy with the movie. One day people are going to find it and discover it, and it'll have its audience. But nobody fucking gives like now is ready for it or is open to it. So fine. I made it. That's all that matters to me. If it sits on a shelf and then is rediscovered like 40 years from now, that's fine by me. I don't even care. Wow. But then Oliver got into the Whistler Film Festival because, as it turns out, you have to know people to get into a film festival, in my opinion. And so I was like, that's cool because then my friends can go see it on a big screen, But then Todd from XYZ saw the trailer.
Really?
On the Whistler site or whatever.
Okay.
And that's how we started to get some more traction again, and it went to Tribeca, and that's where we sold it to Magnolia.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Fantastic Fest was the third, or?
And then Fantastic Fest, yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that's so cool.
And I believe it had played at Sitges as well, but I didn't go that year.
What were the reviews like?
I would say they were split right down the middle, negative, positive. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of glowing reviews, even on the positive side. I think people seem to be treating it like it was like a straight-ahead genre film, whereas it was always intended as more as of a kind of a moody art film, like Last Year at Marienbad or something like that, that drew on genre stuff like Phase 4 and THX 1138 visually in that era, and or Demon Seed or something. So yeah. And I think people who looked at it that way were disappointed in it and thought it was a slow failure of a genre movie with a weird, unsatisfying ending, But the way I looked at it was that it was an art film, and I never wanted it to be a purely generic piece. And the ending to me is like a just something that amused me, and I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about it. I just like it, and that's all that matters to me, And I was drawing on the sort of mentality of like underground comic books and stuff like that, where it's so creatively liquid and free and can become anything at any time, And that's what I wanted it to be like.
Did you have that bulletproof feeling even at the time that you were reading those negative reviews, or only
now? No, I actually took. Yes and no, because in my heart I love the film and nothing could change that. But it hurt to when people would not like it. But I feel like I'm over that now. I feel like something in me, some part of me is dead and broken inside, and I no longer feel emotion. I'm cured.
Well, so kind of related to that, I asked you some of these questions when Mandy was kind of doing the circuit, and you didn't really answer me, so now I'm going to ask you them again.
Okay.
But I want to know what it feels like to have a movie that's that revered.
Right.
Like and I remember kind of probing a little bit, like, how does it feel to have everyone like going, "Oh my God, you made a masterpiece," and it's what we all dream of, and that
I feel suspicious of it, and I feel like I'm being punked or something. Like the whole thing is an illusion or a put on. Yeah.
So it's neither the negative and the
or
positive, or
I feel like it's nice, but it won't last, and I worry.
I mean, that's healthier, isn't it?
I think so too.
It doesn't sound like it's a choice from your perspective, which is even better.
Right.
But it's. I would rather feel that way than the opposite of that,
Than
which
like
is to
gloating
start
and
to
wallowing.
yeah, and like buy into it, or
Right.
Yeah, like wallow in your own
I also worry.
reverie or success, and I'd rather be afraid that it won't ever happen again, or just enjoy it for the moment, and it could all go away tomorrow.
I also worry to some degree about how to follow it up.
Sure.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I understand that fear.
And I also worry that I because there's positive reaction to it. I also can't help but look at it like if I don't want to be somebody that feel satisfied in what they've done, you know? Too much.
Right, because then you don't push yourself to try further.
Yeah.
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 And I always, I mean...
I think being satisfied is a kind of beginning of death.
Right, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because there's what else is propelling you forward
Yeah.
if you feel like, well,
And I guess
I've done it,
it sounds like I'm contradicting myself because I'm so satisfied with Beyond the Black Rainbow. But to me, that was a one-off thing. It was like I expected only to make one movie ever, you know? So, like, anything that I've made after having made Mandy at all is, like, to me, like I said earlier, like a miracle that it exists at all, you know?
yeah.
Do you have, so now that so you tick that box, I made a film. I don't care what anybody thinks of it. I did this. I'm not going to die having not made a movie.
Yeah.
And then you shifted into, I think I'd like to do this again, right?
Yeah.
And then you did.
Yeah.
And do you have...
I don't think I ever let myself feel that.
Which part?
I would like to do this again.
Yeah, I that's interesting.
I don't understand what that means.
I initiated the process of making another film, but I never allowed myself to feel that I wanted it or that it was something that I wanted to
Why
do.
not?
Because I honestly thought the odds of it happening were so small, you know? Like a part of me believed it would happen, but I also knew the reality was that it might not happen. And so I didn't want to set myself up for a kind of heartbreak, I think. So I was always like, there is a very distinct, the odds are this will never happen. So don't ever allow yourself to feel bad about that.
And how about now?
Well, like I said, I'm just fucking blown away that we were
No, I mean, looking ahead.
Oh, right.
Do you think there's a chance you won't make another film?
I don't know. I feel like now it's a different thing altogether. It's like I think it's the same but different. I feel like I'm in the same position but slightly different in that I need to keep my eye on the ball and make the movie with people that I trust and try to as best I can make sure I'm in a position where I can make the film that I want to make as a director. You know, producing stuff is one thing, but like the film that I direct is kind of sacrosanct. You know.
How do you know, your films clearly come from deep within you. They're like your dreams made real. How do you not feel fragile when you're bringing that stuff outside of yourself?
I have no idea. I don't know. I've never thought about it before. Yeah.
But am I right? You don't seem to have a fragility about you're never defensively protecting things like you seem to have. I'm putting down an object.
Well,
you have a certainty
it's
like
because,
it's solid. Nothing you say is going to damage this thing that I brought out of
maybe
me.
it's because I look at it still as making weird experimental Super 8 short films. You know, and it's really just
There's no stakes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've never thought about. I don't even know if it's about stakes. It's more just about like the creative process not being. As long as the creative process isn't interfered with by a toxic, malevolent influence, then I feel like everything is open to interpretation and everybody's opinion is valid. You know, and if they're not coming from a negative, shitty place where they're trying to like force something into being something that it's not, then why wouldn't you want to hear it? Why wouldn't you want to absorb everything?
You're right, because who knows where valid information is going to come from. I think it was Sidney Pollack said the director's job is to be the film's immune system.
Right, that's a great quote,
Isn't it?
actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really amazing, actually. That's one of the best quotes I've ever heard.
Wow, that's really incredible.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you had to distill the entire genre of horror to one word, what would it be?
Jesus Christ, man. Those questions. There's no way to do it.
Well, I think you said it.
What was it?
Grief.
Right, yeah.
And this is another thing that's come out in these conversations.
Yeah.
Is that we're starting to believe all horror is about grieving.
Right. Yeah.
Loss.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's also one of the most primal fears that there is loss.
Yeah.
Fear of
Loneliness.
loss,
Yeah.
being alone.
Or
fear
even
of
loss of your wholeness.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. some kind of loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have, this is a question we ask everybody, what do you fear? But we've actually talked a lot about fear.
I fear people knowing my fears.
Right.
And I'm not being facetious when I say that.
I don't think you are.
Like, my fear, people knowing my fears is too extreme for me to, like, say my fears on a podcast.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, we won't press you on it, but can we ask for clarification on at least that answer? Is that okay?
What do you mean clarification?
What is it? What worries you about people knowing your fears?
That's one of the fears. I can't elaborate on that. There's no way. It's like, that's part of the fear.
Got it. Okay.
Is it about vulnerability?
Perhaps.
Yeah. Being,
He's so uncomfortable.
I love it. But is it, because I understand that. Is it fear of being vulnerable, fear of people understanding what your weakness is or what your vulnerability is? Being
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's not my read on it either.
No?
No.
Okay. I was right.
I don't think you are. Can I tell you my theory?
What?
It relates to not wanting to talk about stories until you put them down on paper. That it's those fears are your gas, the gas in your engine, and that's sacred, and you need to hold on to those things because they are what motivate you to
Sure.
make the art that you make.
Yeah.
So
I like
why
that
fuck
one.
with it,
Yeah, that.
you asshole?
I like that. I like that too.
Well, you hold the distinction of being the only person on this podcast who didn't answer the question, but I like that.
I think he
In a way,
He
you did answer it.
You did. No,
You did answer it.
You did. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Well, I think we're done. It's been about 2 hours. Are you? Was this excruciating for you?
I don't know. I feel like I made a huge mistake.
No.
Well, I feel like I've bared my soul to the world, and
Oh man, anything that makes you uncomfortable, we'll cut out, of course. Obviously.
Well, I can't promise that.
it's like 11 minutes. It's like 11 seconds. Yeah, don't give me that power.
Well, no, actually, we're not giving you that power. But what I will say is that I think the reason we wanted to do this to begin with was remembering how important it was to us as young dreamers to be able to actually hear the people whose work we love talk about their lives and like in a way that made them real. And that I think a lot of what you've shared could be tremendously valuable for young, like teenagers that are, you know, I mean, this is so corny, I say it all the time and I can't help it, is like, you know, the whole purpose, the reason we make art is to let other people know they're not alone.
Yeah.
Right? So this is a
I hear
form
you.
of that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, and so, you know, we definitely go to places on this podcast that are more personal than people are used to.
Totally.
But it's because we just think that there'll be kids out there that are like, oh my God, like, I'm like him. Like, I'm not the only one who, you know.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I didn't deliver that.
No.
Oh, you absolutely did.
totally did.
We're just addressing, like, because we pushed you into places that you're not necessarily comfortable.
Yeah, I just
so
wasn't expecting it.
We just wanted to like give it some context of like what,
It also is a common theme that has come up is fear is a common theme.
Absolutely.
And, you know, to let other people, it's always interesting to listen to people who are successful in creating something that you like, right? And to know that they're just as fucking human as you are and just as insecure or just as fearful or just as vulnerable and they have the same hurdles that they have to jump through is really inspiring. It
is,
you know?
I agree with you.
All right, I'm gonna pull the crew out.
I just need you to sign this appearance release, which I just forgot to pen, so I'm gonna go grab it. 1 second.
Just roll until we're out the door.
Thank you.
When I go out the door, I can never come back.
No.
You're always welcome in Elijah's house, said Daniel.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dude, thank you so much. This was awesome. Say hello to Andrea.
It was my great pleasure.
It was our great pleasure.
It was our great pleasure.
Very nice to see you.
All right, cut.
This has been Visitations. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen so that you never miss an episode. Visitations is a Shudder original podcast. Download the app or visit shudder.com to start your free 7-day trial.
Visitations was created by SpectreVision, hosted by Daniel Noah and myself, Elijah Wood. Executive produced by Daniel Noah, Josh C. Waller, Lisa Whalen, and me. Produced by Elisa Hieras. Our on-set producer and post-supervisor was Lauren Magura. Edited and mixed by Graham Resnick. Production sound provided by Brian Curley. Our PA is Guillermo Patricios. Our stills photographer was Lisa Rose. Original artwork by Jay Shaw. For Shudder, Owen Shiflett and Nicholas Lazo. And our music was composed by Bad Bad Not Good.